Hey, what is up? It is Rob from Crypto Bobby, and today I want to talk to you about Ethereum driving forward right now, sitting above 330. Is it at a point where it is about to take off to the moon after an already $30 per ETH rise? Also want to talk about Monero and that having a massive market movement today, especially considering the size of Monero's market cap in general. So let's dive into it. Let's cover it in the discussion. Ethereum, as we're in CoinMarketCap right now, Ethereum having one of the nicer movements in recent memory from Ethereum, up $30 or so to 330 plus right now. And this has been a really nice steady movement, especially considering the overall market cap and size of Ethereum. Now, ETH is kind of the one of the things that really hasn't moved all too much, considering a lot of Bitcoin's kind of massive rise up to 4,000, 4,400, wherever Bitcoin has been in the past. Pretty much all of August, Ethereum is somewhat lagged behind, kind of sitting around the $300 range pretty much all of August, and this has been I would say the biggest breakout within this month that I've seen so far, which is a great sign. And a lot of what was previously discussed, I saw a few different YouTube channels speaking about 326 within Ethereum, $326 being kind of the big point of potential resistance there. And when I went to bed last night, kind of been sitting around that. We can take a look here, sitting around the $296, $300 mark for a number of weeks right now, playing around $300. And as I woke up in the morning, turned on the phone, it was already above 330, 320 or so, and really blew past the initial kind of that $326 line of resistance, and has rocketed up all the way at a certain point to 345 to settle back down around around 330 or so. So Ethereum is having a really nice move. And this is something that I'm keeping my eye on and continuing to look and continuing to kind of see how this develops, because I have moved, as of this morning, I took the opportunity to move some of my altcoins into Ethereum. I think Ethereum has the legs to run up quite a bit more. And I've been talking about this for really a number of, basically for the past 2 weeks or so at this point in time, where I think Ethereum has lagged behind Bitcoin, but I think a big rally is on the way to potentially the 400, 420 mark that were Ethereum's all-time highs. I think that ETH definitely has that type of potential momentum here, and it's been gathering a bit of strength. So I've been moving some of the profits I've made from these altcoins over the past month or so, whether it's been OMG and Neo and a couple other ones. I've kept most of my OMG, but I've taken some profits off of Status. I've taken some profits off of Neo as well, and I've actually pretty much completely exited my Neo position at this point in time, moved it all into Ethereum at this point, because I think it has some room to run. That might be a mistake, who knows, but you can take a look at my portfolio and the links just to see kind of where my head's at. But I am now looking at Ethereum as a potential place within the next, like I've said, within the next few weeks, we could really be testing those 400, 420 marks and potentially higher. I'd love to see that, because I'm invested in it, obviously, but I think Ethereum has some nice momentum and potential movement here, especially with the amount of volume that's being traded in it, and a lot of the good technical advancements that are coming out of the pipeline, as well as a lot of the crazy politics that are going on within Bitcoin Cash right now, that I think are maybe detracting a little bit potentially from Bitcoin's rally, and removing focus from how well Bitcoin is doing to this other, altcoin, shitcoin, the next Bitcoin, whatever anybody wants to call Bitcoin Cash. I think it's detracting a little bit from Bitcoin's momentum. So, and at least raising arguments among who's the real Bitcoin, who's the real fucking Slim Shady, who knows? I don't know. But that's kind of my thought process there, is I think Ethereum is in a really good place here. And I think even now, even after it's run up to $30, $35 or so, I think I would still look at some entry points here. If you are not in Ethereum and you're thinking about getting in, I do think it has legs to move much higher. Now, outside of Ethereum, I mean, it's a nice 10, 15% jump for ETH. That's fantastic. But when you look at some of the coins that have really moved today, I'll head back over to CoinMarketCap, and for the most part, Ripple also had a nice movement, and Bitcoin Cash has really fallen off precipitously from the high of around 800 or so, and has been on a steady decline here. I think a lot of people taking profits there and trying to sell where they can. But outside of that, the big mover today is Monero, up at one point close to 50%, I believe, now up 42%. And we can take, kind of a look at where things have gone with Monero. But a lot of the big news with Monero being that they might be getting added to the Korean exchange Bithumb, which this is a tweet from Whale Panda. Is a good Twitter account I follow. I kind of like hearing about his insights into the cryptocurrency space. But Bithumb, or Monero, looks to be getting added to Bithumb, which has a shit ton of volume, which is always good. And like we talked about in the previous video the other day, anytime these new cryptocurrencies, whether it is a massive cryptocurrency like Monero with a $1.1 billion valuation or market cap, even if a $1.1 billion coin gets added to a massive exchange, expect some, or really rumored to be added to a massive exchange, expect some movement in that price. And that's something that we've seen with a lot of these smaller cryptocurrencies, that we've been talking about recently, like a DNT, like an OAX. They get rumored to go onto a bigger exchange like Bittrex, but when you're talking about some of the volume that's pumped out on exchanges in Asia and Korea, like a Bithumb, that's enough to make the movement of something like Monero go up millions and millions of dollars from an overall market capitalization perspective, and that's helped to drive Monero up 42+% on the day, which is good to see a coin like that doing well. I think a lot of the technology behind Monero is interesting, and I think in the near future, depending upon how crazy things get with Bitcoin and a lot of the politics behind it, there might be some other coins that can take advantage of that and take some market cap from that. Ethereum potentially being one of them, but maybe Monero being another one as well. So it'll be interesting to see how some of the changes with Bitcoin and how kind of the continued battles maybe internally between the miners, between the development team, between the overall just users of Bitcoin, how things move from there, and how that might be able to affect something like Ethereum, something like Monero, and some of these other coins that are in the picture as well. Outside of that, really, what I'm looking at on the day and what I'm thinking about is moving kind of taking additional profits out of some of these other cryptocurrencies that I do have in play and moving them into Ethereum for the time being. I think now might be a good time where Ethereum is going to run up to the 400 range. This is not really based on a ton of factual evidence, quite frankly. A lot of what I just do is go on kind of gut and instinct, and I'm definitely not trying to pump Ethereum by any stretch. I have a YouTube channel with 2,000 subscribers, so I'm not affecting a $31 million market cap by any stretch. So I think that a lot of other coins have rocketed up in the near term, or basically in August and July. I mean, you have Bitcoin that's really killed it. Bitcoin's done fantastic. For the most part, Bitcoin Cash has done really well. A lot of these coins have done well in the past 3 weeks, where Ethereum has basically just been chilling, drinking beer at 300 like I have. And now it's starting to get some legs, and now it's starting to move. And I think the more Ethereum moves, the more FOMO that comes into place. And a lot of people are going to be saying, hey, oh, wow, Ethereum's going to get back to that all-time high. Maybe it's going to go over the all-time high. And that's still a good, still good percentage basis, still a good money-making opportunity for a lot of people. And I think the technology is there to really support that. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. If you want to see my overall portfolio, as always, for transparency purposes, so you know what I'm doing, so you can get a good understanding of where my head's at, the link is in the description. It's cryptobobby.com. That'll give you my portfolio if you're kind of interested in learning about where my head's at. And about probably prior to today, maybe 15% of my portfolio was in Ethereum, and now it's probably, from a fiat value perspective, probably up to 30%. And the rest, the other 70% being Bitcoin and altcoins. So, but that's probably the second highest. Second highest holding might be 20 to 25%, and that's Civic, and that's just from ICO profits. Pretty small fiat investment, but it's a pretty high proportion of my overall crypto net worth per se. But if you are new to the channel, I really would appreciate a subscribe. That would be fantastic. I come out with daily videos on cryptocurrency, talk about where I see things going, where I see some potential, how maybe you can make some plays off of it, and just try to give things in an open and honest light so you can really get a good understanding of what's happening, where my thoughts are. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I am just somebody who tries to analyze trends, kind of listen to what's going on, get a good feel for what's happening, and then approach things in a really rational way. So that's kind of my thought process there. And again, if you're new here, would love for you to hit the subscribe button. Would love for you to throw a like to this video if you found it helpful. Any comments at all, really do appreciate them. Positive, negative, helpful critiques, whatever they might be. Thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome day, whether you're buying, trading, selling, holding, whatever it might be. Peace. Have a good one.